everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and today is a very happy day. We are going to start our tomato, pepper, and even some coleus seed. We finally get to, we're going into the last stretch of this race of indoor planting, and even though I will continue to at least start seeds so that I can place them where I want them instead of them coming up like where I forget that I've planted things, I will still continue planting the warm weather crops, and I'm going to start seeding cold or cool weather crops too. But today we get tomatoes. I am going to plant Sunrise Bumblebee. I do every year. They're absolutely fantastic little tiny tomatoes. We usually try to get in like 10 to 12 of these. My little ones, they actually eat them right off the vine. In the past, I used to grow these, and we would have so much left over that I would bake them with, or roast them, I guess is a better term, with onions and basil and olive oil, and then I would pack them down in some good olive oil and keep them in the refrigerator, and we would pull it out and use bruschetta like all through the fall and sometimes a little bit into the winter. It was fantastic. But my little ones come out, they eat all our blueberries, they eat all our blackberries, they eat all our little tomatoes. But that's childhood. I hope they have good memories. I'm also going to plant Brandywine tomatoes. This is the Sudeth strain, and so I have actually had a couple questions because I have different types of Brandywines that I do, and I even have my own seed of Brandywine. The reason why I do that is because I really like the Sudeth strain the best. Get that from Seed Savers Exchange, and for us it seems to give us the largest tomatoes. But I will say that the reason why I save my own seed is because on years that we have really great crops, I will definitely pull, I don't know if you can see this, enough seed from that crop where I will, I will mix it with this Sudeth strain. And the reason why is because I've had years where I have ordered this exact one and we had terrible crops. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. So from good crop years, I like to mix these two together. So why did I get another type of Brandywine? Because there are two types. One is like a pink Brandywine, which is what the Sudeth strain is, and one is a very orangey red Brandywine. They have different flavors. I like them both. So we also always do Amish paste. There was a year that there was, I guess a chicken had gotten into our Amish paste seeds and had planted it for us out in our front garden. Well, that year we had actually put a lot of broken down manure up there. I have never seen Amish paste tomatoes. Like, we have pretty good Amish paste tomatoes. I mean, they're about, I don't know if you can see that, about that big. I mean, they're good size because they're on the smaller side because they're paste tomatoes. They're not huge tomatoes like the beefsteak. Those tomatoes that year being planted and all that rotted manure came out like beefsteaks. I mean, they were huge. They were small beefsteaks. They weren't the great big ones, but I'm telling you, they were a pound a piece. So if you're looking for ginormous, I would highly suggest planting in a lot of well-rotted manure. The reason why I don't do that is because we plant so many tomato plants. I wouldn't have enough manure to do that. And I don't really trust the compost out there because a lot of times they'll claim that it's organic and it's not. So when my tomatoes are going to grow straight in some, sort of medium, I make sure it's definitely organic. This here is a new one, and I got this from Swallowtail Garden Seeds. It's San Marzano, and I have seen this. They're sauce tomatoes, but I have seen San Marzano in the store, and I really wanted to try these out. So this is a big one for us this year. It's definitely a new one for us. And then the other new one is one that I picked up from my sweet cousin in Missouri, and they had these beautiful tomatoes, and they are called Alice's Dream. And I have about 20 seeds of the Alice's Dream, so hopefully I will get at least 10. So I am super excited. Tomatoes are like, I don't know, almost like they're the most intensive crop, but they're one of the funnest to grow too. I am also, along with all of those, I am planting King of the North peppers. These are a staple in our house. They give the best bell pepper for us and for our weather. We're in zone 6 in Ohio, and we love King of the North. I'm also planting a jalapeno. It's called Traveler Strain. I have not tried this one yet. I cannot remember for the life of me the jalapeno that we did. We didn't have any jalapenos last year, but the year before we grew a bunch, and they were pretty good. But this is a new one, and it's from Seed Savers Exchange. And another one from Seed Savers Exchange, we got the Jimmy Nardello peppers. Now, I did grow these last year. These are so neat. They have such an interesting flavor. So are the, is it Shavina Shuska? It's like a Russian pepper. That they kind of look like this. They're elongated, but they have a really good, it says highly favored and flavorful Italian pepper. And actually that is what I used it in too. And it was absolutely delicious. I made some different pastas and bruschettas, and I put that in it. So we're starting off with the tomatoes and the peppers. And I'm also going to grow about 10 plants of the coleus, because I need some coleus and I don't want to pay 15 bucks a piece. So I've already got my soil started, and I'm going to get them in the trays, and then I'm going to go ahead and seed them. So yay, we've made it to the warm weather crops. Let's get started. Well, there you have it. We are done. That was 150 plants, almost 200 plants we just got started. I love when we start on the warm weather, because that means that we're getting ready to plant outside, so it becomes really exciting. But so we have our tomatoes and our peppers and even some coleus planted. I went ahead and I watered those in. I didn't catch that because I had ran out of my battery and I didn't realize it, but I went ahead and watered all those in, and I put their domes on, their humidity domes, and then I will, after I'm finished here, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in my grow room. So we are finished for today. It's actually getting super cold. Tonight is a night that we're gonna go down to 32. So clearly tomatoes and peppers cannot go to 32, so I'm taking those in. But they wouldn't anyway. I mean, unless it was really, really warm out here, and it's just not. But we have already had this great season of cool weather crops, and now we're starting with the warm weather crops, and it's exciting. It's an exciting grow season, and we are extremely close to planting outside. Actually, this video was going to be that, but I saw that tonight will be 32. So I put off planting the cabbage and the lettuce out in the garden, even though Christopher and I have already prepared the beds. So we'll be doing that not tomorrow, but the next day. So I'll take you along as we start planting, and I'm gonna plant in the raised beds too. I know I keep promising it. I also wanna show you a hack in that video for what to do with those surprise spring freezes, so in your raised beds. I wanted to remind you also that in the soil, so you're gonna wanna pay attention to your seed planting depth. A lot of the seeds that I was planting today, it was 1/4 of an inch, so you can kind of poke that down into the soil and cover it. But what you're really wanting, and the reason why you water them in, you don't soak them or else the seed will mold. But you know, you just get it kind of nice and moist. It's so that that soil can compact down onto the seed, and once it gets wet and it has that soil around it, it starts that germination process and starts to send it out. So I just wanted to remind you to look at your seed packets. Even if you don't have a seed packet, you can always look it up online. Just put in the type and the plant that you have, and it will tell you the seed planting depth that you need to start at. But that's kind of an important thing, because they've been running a lot of tests that I've been watching on YouTube of other like scientists and things, and if you plant seeds too deep, they still will germinate, but they're going to take longer to start their growth. You don't want to plant them too shallow, because then you can either A, dry out the seed, because remember that top part of the soil dries first, and you know, gravity, bottom gets the water. It all drizzles down. But you want to make sure that it's not exposed. And so, but there are some things that need light to germinate. None of these seeds today did. And usually with those types of seeds like lettuce, you don't really even want to cover them, since they need light to germinate. So I just want to give you like a little friendly reminder that read your seed packets, because they work. So, and also wet your seed starting formula before you start. I had watched someone who was a beginner, and they just put all their seed starting formula into their, and they thought that because they water it in at the end, that was good enough. But what happens is, like, I will pour my seed starting formula into the bucket, and then I will pour water on it, mix it really good, pour water on it again, until not where it looks like crazy wet, but where it looks like it's starting to dampen, and then I leave it alone. And I go and prepare everything else. I get my seeds together, I get my trays together, and I let that just absorb. And I come back and I mix it really good. I squeeze it in my hand, and if I have a bunch of water that comes on, I need to add more soil mix, or soilless mix, seed starting mix. But if it needs a little more water, you can do that at that point. But the whole point of letting that soak is that, you know, it's absorbing that water that you have put in, so that sometimes it will go straight to the bottom, depending on how dry your mix is. And you need to stir it so that it has time to go ahead and plump up for you. So once you have it in there and you put your seeds in, you just do this fine mist spray over top to just make sure that there's some, you know, you're making sure that your seed comes in contact with your soilless mix. So I just wanted to give you that little reminder, because sometimes we all forget. So I'm glad that we got to do this together. We have almost 200 plants planted, and we are rip-roaring into the warm season. So remember, if I can start warm weather crops, anybody can. Thanks. Bye.